How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Rumors of imminent approval swirl around the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. So this author is basically saying that David Bailey, a well-known figure in the crypto industry, is saying that the ETF is likely to be approved because BlackRock is behind it. They're one of the main companies that own everything, one of two companies. And because they have such a big name, it's very likely that the SEC is going to approve the ETF, and it could be likely that the SEC would approve it sooner than some of the other ones that we've seen where they've taken months to decide on. So we may see an ETF roll out sooner than later. It'd be good for us because it'd give us more volume that could come in, but we'll have to see as we still are in a risk-on environment. So just because there's that, we could get a sharp volume spike and then a crash after. Bank of England-backed project CBDCs could enable programmability for money. So this is a pretty nice project they've done, aside kind of different than the US's approach where we are all against it, not really looking into what we could do with it for a good case. But overseas they are seeing what kind of use cases there are that won't hurt the population. Project Rosalind found that the digital currency can do what our modern cash and card payments can do, but also offer programmability, so you could do a smart contract-like feature. What this would allow you to do is set certain conditions for a payment or something to go through. So maybe you can say, if my balance is zero, then don't let this payment for $100 go through so I don't get hit with a $30 charge or something like that. So it might give you a little more control to make sure you can stay more on top of your finances. Enable citizens and businesses to automate cumbersome payments and processes and implement logic into money, they say as well. So kind of like what I just said, where you can do a little more thinking with your money instead of it just trying to go through your account. So Kwon is blaming the Chinese agency that he can't name for his fake passports, and he said they thought it was a good agency to use because his friend recommended it. And he's also saying he wants to take all the heat because Han didn't know about it. So he's just saying, hey, we didn't know about this, our document should have been good because my friend said they should. So, but he can't name the company that did it because they have a wrong name. Over on our charts, our total market cap is a little indecisive. We are getting a little bit of a pump up today, so a little bit of a move up. Stochastic's still kind of rounding. RSI is trying to push forward though, so we could keep going forward. We have broken through that neutral zone, getting a bounce off the neutral for our RSI, so that's good. Money flow is curling up. Our VWAP is starting to kind of curl down still. Our momentum is kind of curling away still as well. And our volume is kind of falling out, so I'd be a little worrisome. This could be a bear pendant that could break us down even lower. Here we can draw that real quick. Actually, more of a bear flag, sorry. Could have this, if I can grab it, could have this take us even further down on our market cap, so we could see another leg down for our altcoins, which wouldn't be good. But if this ETF does get approved, that could negate this. Bitcoin dominance is just running up, going wild, trying to reclaim. I believe we're in a pretty high spot, kind of reclaiming some territory we haven't been in for quite some time, almost 2 years. So we haven't really had this much dominance in the market for quite some time now. So just watch out. We could see a bit of a cool off. Our stochastic is kind of getting lower highs. RSI is starting to curl. Momentum's getting lower highs. Money flow's starting to curl off. VWAP's looking a little weak and starting to curl off. Here we had a sharper incline in our VWAP when we had this jump here. We don't really have quite as much strength in our VWAP right now, so we may not have quite as much volume or pump left here. But that was on the weekly. Here we'll go on the daily. Over on the daily, we do have a bearish divergence forming. Our RSI is trying to head up. Momentum's trying to get a green dot. Our money flow is trying to bounce up, and our VWAP is getting close to breaking bearish. So if that VWAP doesn't get a strong bounce off of here, we could see everything else start to curl off as well. Over on our futures, we are making a pretty decent bounce to this area where we have some other candle touches. This would be a decent support resistance area. We have pretty decent volume here. So if we don't get some red candles to push us down, that could push us down to this higher volume area, then we could try to push back up to this higher volume area around 28.3 and maybe keep going to fill this gap. Our stochastic is running up, RSI is starting to curl, VWAP is running up, money flow is trying to head up, momentum's trying to come up with a double green dot, so we're looking pretty hopeful for a move up. Over on Bitcoin, we tried to go within our golden pocket, kind of dropped back out of it. We could still try to go in there, we have a little bit of time left yet for this candle. Stochastic is starting to curl, RSI is running up though, so our RSI has maximum strength. Just because the stochastic curls here doesn't mean we're going to fall. It could still curl and then make a bounce somewhere around the 60 zone, and we could still have strong bullish momentum. Our VWAP is pushing away, money flow is trying to test that neutral zone, so if our money flow is able to break bullish and hold bullish very strongly, we could see further momentum up. Our momentum wave wants to come up, but it looks like it could try to round here, kind of like we did right here where we kind of bounced up and flopped over. So just watch out for a scenario like that. Over on the 4-hour, our stochastic is trying to run up, our momentum's getting lower highs. VWAP is running down, is trying to curl, but we are in the bullish territory right now. Money flow is in the bullish territory, getting slightly higher highs, but we're still not really strong in the bullish territory, and we're already starting to curl back over. So we're not looking the strongest here on the 2-hour. We are kind of stretching, making like a flag. Let's get rid of this. Did break from that wedge, and then we snapped right back up from it. Now we could have maybe another one. So our little wedge could have created a bigger wedge. Oop, did not mean to drop that line there. I meant to drop it over here. So that could push us back under. So just don't get too excited unless we're able to close above and hold within this golden pocket area. Our stochastic is starting to curl. RSI is starting to curl. We have a red dot. Momentum's starting to curl over. We're getting a bearish divergence as we're getting new highs on price and lower highs on momentum. Our VWAP is starting to fall. Our money flow is running up, but we're starting to flatten out right around this 13. Haven't really been able to get over this zone as of lately, on the 2-hour that is, so just watch out if we start to curl here. VWAP is coming down, so our medium term is losing strength. Over on the 1-hour, our stochastic is starting to kind of curl here, so watch out. Our RSI could start to curl. We have a red dot on our momentum, and that's starting to curl as well. We did have a bullish divergence on our momentum, very sloppy divergence it looks like. Our money flow is running up, but our VWAP is coming down and testing that bearish zone, so if our VWAP breaks into the bearish territory, we could see our money flow roll right over. So just watch out for that. Gonna look on the 30-minute real quick, usually don't do this. We are kind of falling here, so if we don't get some push up and this money flow breaks into the bearish territory, we could see that carry over, but I wouldn't watch the 30 all the time. Over on graph, we are on the daily now. We do have a little bit of a kind of curl up, but we did try to reject, so we might try to make some kind of a goofy cup here. Maybe we make a cup and a handle and kind of break up. Stochastic is trying to run up. RSI is pretty flat. VWAP is falling under, or falling over, I should say. Our money flow wants to round up. Our momentum wants to come down. It is trying to curl out. Overall, it was coming up, so just watch if we do set in a red dot soon. Over on the 4-hour, we do have a curl on our momentum with a green dot, so that's good for us. Zoom in, we could try to keep pumping, so that would be good for the daily to kind of even that out and maybe avoid a red dot. Our money flow is testing the bearish territory, so we'll have to see if it breaks into the bearish territory and stays bearish. It's been kind of all over the place for quite a few candles. Our RSI is starting to fall, stochastic's starting to round off. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but not very strong. So we could start to see some curl here if we don't get some further upside. Our stochastic is starting to make a bearish cross. RSI is pointing down. Momentum starting to curl. This is on the 1 hour. Our VWAP is pushing toward the neutral, so our VWAP's about to break bearish. Our money flow is just zigzagging around and can't maintain any kind of trend. That is since we made this drop right back here. So overall, we're kind of indecisive, kind of just trading in a range. This range might be able to make a triangle. That could be good for us if this were to keep going. We might be able to see a pump. No guarantees to this 11-cent area, but that could be an area where we fall off. Remember, we did have this falling wedge, which was a bullish pattern, and we did break down from it before, so just be cautionary. Over on Anchor, on the daily, doesn't really look too much. We're pretty flat still. Stochastic's kind of starting to round off. RSI is flattening out. VWAP's starting to round under. My flow wants to come up, but we're not really going anywhere. Momentum looks like we could curl over if we don't get some momentum to push us up. So we could make some sort of flag here. We didn't really get that double top breakdown that we had before, so we kind of just pushed sideways from it. So that is somewhat good for us, but we are still kind of trading in this range. Our stochastic wants to get a bullish cross on the 4 hour. RSI wants to push up. Our money flow is struggling to get over an 8, so we are starting to round and head back toward the neutral zone. So just watch out if we do break. Our momentum is trying to bounce off the neutral. We are getting a green dot, but if the money flow starts to push under, we could see a red dot invalidate that and a push under. Our VWAP is trying to break bullish, so we have some mixed signals. We need the stochastic and money flow to maintain bullish momentum. The stochastic has a little ways to go to become bullish, so the RSI could fall in that time if we aren't able to maintain our strength. Our RSI is overall sliding here on the 2 hour. We are trying to push up for the last couple of candles. Stochastic's trying to get a little bit of a run up, but overall we're getting lower highs. Our momentum wants to round up. Money flow, you can see, made a bounce off that neutral zone. It was trying to ramp up pretty decently, but we seem to be struggling to get over this 9 or 10 area. So if we start to round here, just exercise some caution. Our VWAP looks like it's starting to round here as well, so not looking the strongest. We look at the 1 hour. See if we can draw any kind of a good pattern. More of a flag, so this flag could break us down, which would be interesting to see graph pump and anchor drop, but that could break us down toward the bottom of our Fibonacci range, so exercise some caution with that. Our stochastic is starting to fall. RSI is starting to fall. Momentum looks like we could fall. Money flow wants to make a pull out of this bearish territory. So if we don't flop over here, we could see it carry over to the 2 and 4 hour and push us away from this bearish pattern. Our VWAP wants to maintain bullish momentum. Our momentum's a little bullish. So hopefully the stochastic can ride this oversold area and our RSI can keep moving forward and the money flow stays bullish. If our RSI starts to crash and our money flow starts to roll over, we could see some further downside. Over on the daily, for XRP, we are trying to get a bit of a pump away from this double top possibility, so that would be good for us. Our momentum is trying to curl with a green dot. Our money flow is trying to ramp up. Our stochastic's trying to push up. Our VWAP's struggling to gain any kind of real strength over this bullish territory. Our RSI is heading up, so that is good. But if that VWAP flops over, we could see some more red candles in the next coming days. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic is trying to pump up. RSI is trying to kind of curl away. We aren't really getting newer highs on our RSI or price. We're kind of just ranging here. Our momentum is kind of ranging, but we are getting a green dot that wants to push us up. Our money flow, since we've kind of broken into this range, is starting to come out, and our VWAP is starting to roll over. So we are starting to lose some of that strength that we had that could try to push us forward. So that's not very good. Our stochastic is trying to push up, but overall we're getting lower highs on our stochastic, and our price is kind of flat, so we have a bearish divergence. We have a bearish divergence on RSI and momentum as well. Our VWAP is rolling over, money flow is trying to run up, so our money flow is trying to maintain the strength, but all our other signals look like we could start to fall. Over on the 1 hour, our money flow has gone pretty flat around this 13 zone. This seems to be a zone we struggle to get over, so if we start to roll over, we could see some downside. Our VWAP is testing bearish, so we could see it break into the bearish territory, but it is trying to round up. So if we don't get some momentum to the upside, we could break into the bearish territory with our VWAP. We could see the stochastic make a bearish cross and start to fall. Our RSI is heading down and our momentum's curling away. So overall, we're a little more bearish leaning than bullish currently. We could give up some of these slight gains that we got today. Over on Algo on the daily, we're trying to make a little bit of an up channel and push ourselves up. So kind of decent, but it's not really a straight up channel, so it's not bearish pattern up channel, so that is good. Our stochastic is trying to push up. Our RSI is pretty much stuck in this area. It can't really get over. So our RSI is in the slightly in this bearish territory, just knocking on that neutral, can't seem to break through. Our money flow wants to run up, but it seems to be struggling. Our momentum looks like we could start to curl away here, so watch out for a red dot to set in. Our VWAP, like I said, is starting to roll over, so overall not very strong. This 4 hours more of a kind of pattern up channel. Why'd you do that? So not very good. Ooh, kind of broke away from it. So we kind of broke away from it twice. You might be able to say that's part of the channel, or you might want to try and call this a megaphone, but megaphones are very rare and I never really see them play out when I draw them, so I'm not going to call it. Our stochastic looks like we could get a bullish cross. RSI looks like we're overall starting to lose steam. Our money flow looks like we are trying to push higher, but we're starting to roll. Our momentum is in the bearish territory and coming down pretty sharply. So just watch out if this continues and doesn't get a green dot to kind of subside this momentum to the downside. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic looks like it could start to curl here, so it looks like it wants to give up some strength. RSI has gone pretty flat. Our money flow is overall getting lower highs and struggling to stay above this bullish territory. So if we get another touch to the neutral zone, we could break bearish. Our VWAP struggling to get higher highs as well and starting to head toward the bearish territory as well. Our momentum wants to get a bullish divergence and push us up, but overall everything else is looking a little more weak. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic looks like it wants to get a little bit of a curl. RSI is going pretty flat. Our VWAP is zigzagging around above the neutral line, so we are pretty bullish, but we're struggling to maintain anything above this 12 zone. Our money flow wants to break in the bullish territory, so we'll have to see if we get rejected or if we're able to cross through with some strength. Our momentum wants to push through as well, so we'll have to see if this can actually happen. Otherwise, if our stochastic starts to fall really violently, we could see everything else curl over, and our money flow could maintain in this bearish trend, which then could push us even further down. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.